gentlemen, namaste and a very warm welcome to all of you to the Glove World Web Talks 135th episode. In the last 134 episodes, we have talked to, interacted with, and tried to take down and know the innovations of more than 2,500 school leaders on this very platform. आज इस 135वें एपिसोड के पहले 134 एपिसोड्स में 2,500 से ज्यादा स्कूल लीडर्स इसी प्लेटफॉर्म पर अपने आइडियाज, अपने इनोवेशंस प्रेजेंट कर चुके हैं. तो आज अगले 60 मिनट जो आप हमारे साथ लगाएंगे उसके अंदर हम आपसे जानने की कोशिश करेंगे हाउ आर यू इनोवेटिंग, हाउ आर यू चेंजिंग एंड हाउ डू यू थिंक द होल इकोसिस्टम ऑफ द K-12 space is going to change. Most importantly, this complete platform is a speaking sprint. It's not a speaking marathon. So once your speaking time is over, you might get muted. If you get muted, please don't get offended. It is just to finish this activity on time and keep it all crisp. Most importantly, it's a bilingual platform. So आप अंग्रेजी या हिंदी, इंग्लिश और हिंदी में से कोई भी भाषा इस्तेमाल कर सकते हैं. आप चाहें तो तीसरी भी को इस्तेमाल कर सकते हैं, but I won't get it. So try sticking to these two languages in the next 60 minutes. Now, when we say the format as a sprint, तो हम लोग यही चाहते हैं कि आपकी जो सबसे अच्छी इनोवेशन है, सबसे इनोवेटिव आइडिया है, जो कि यहाँ से लोग अपने साथ लेके जा सके, उसको सबसे पहले और सबसे जल्दी रख दीजिएगा. Even during the format, if by chance you miss on to something, if you want to add something, there'll be an open session at the end of it when you can again share your thoughts. So today, when we start this Glove World Web Talks 135th episode, we're going to talk about, हम rather आपसे एक sketch बनवाएंगे of the post-lockdown student. कि जो स्टूडेंट वापस स्कूल में आने वाला है वो कैसा दिखेगा, उसकी सोच कैसी होगी, परसेप्शन कैसा होगा, बिहेवियरल चेंज कैसे होंगे, बिकॉज द काइंड ऑफ लाइफ ही हैज बीन लिविंग फॉर द लास्ट 2 years नाउ इज हिज न्यू नॉर्मल. तो उससे उसे पुराने नॉर्मल पर हम कैसे ले जाएंगे, उसके क्या क्या चैलेंजेस होंगे, एंड हाउ डू स्कूल लीडर्स थिंक दैट विल चेंज द क्लासरूम फॉरएवर. तो आज जानने की आपसे कोशिश करेंगे योर थॉट्स ऑन द पोस्ट लॉकडाउन स्टूडेंट, एंड उसके साथ एक और एस्पेक्ट, What do you think on the post-lockdown parent? क्योंकि ये इकोसिस्टम बदलेगा, लोगों की एक्सपेक्टेशंस बदलेंगी, हमारी समझ बदलेगी. तो उस सारे बदलाव के साथ हम कैसे कोप अप करेंगे, कैसे स्कूल्स एजुकेशन और लर्निंग को कंटिन्यू रखेंगे. This is something that we'll try to know from you in the next 60 minutes that we have with you. Once again, a very warm welcome to all of you to the Glove World Web Talks 135th episode. Let me invite the first speaker for today to initiate the roundtable or typically share his or her views on the post-lockdown student. So a very warm welcome to Mrs. Savita A, Principal, Silver Spring International School from Bengaluru, Karnataka. Savita ji, over to you for the next 3 minutes. Please unmute yourself and a very warm welcome.
Good evening, one and all present here. Thank you, Daksh, for giving me this opportunity. I also want to thank all the parents, teachers, and students who have supported to make learning happen continuously throughout the pandemic successfully. Today's talk is about the post-lockdown students. Firstly, we as senior educator have to gain the confidence of the parents, students by regular webinars that school is safer place for their wards for offline education. Because now there are so much of confusion with the parents. Will the school will be taking care of their kids once they sent during the third wave? So we have to continuously have webinar with the parents, students. We have to guide them, and the important vitamin tablets which they have to be in mind taking along with the homemade food items instead of taking, because once the school offline starts, they are first going on to the chats corner where they have not allowed for the whole lockdown time, where they have not eaten. So once the school starts, their shops, food corners, everything will be started. So we have to give them a guidance regarding these things. Teachers were trained to be a facilitator. Later, due to lockdown, online classes, teachers have become technology guru along with expertise in subject knowledge. Now, for the post-lockdown students, teachers must become a robo of 2.1. As they have inculcated in them, lots of patience is required, because now the students at home, along with their parents, along with the nature, they have learned so many things. They have got so much of doubts in their mind. They want a person where they can share with them and clear their points. So the teacher must have lot of patience to listen to the student and give them the guidance. So, along with that, patience, teachers must have holistic education they have to give, balance the academic lessons with experiential learning. Now, hands on activity already we are following. So, but after the post lockdown, students are coming back with technology. We have trained them so much, and the Google also has given them so many answers. So, they will be having so many answers with them. So, when they come to the school, in one particular period, in a scheduled period, that is 40 minutes of a session, we have to make the student sit in the position, concentrate to the teacher what she is teaching. Whereas during the online session, the students were sitting on sofas, they were on their beds. Okay, so wherever they were feeling, they were sitting in their comfortable zone and listening to the teacher. But once the lockdown, post lockdown starts, first thing is we have to bring their.
Thank you so much, Savita ji. The first 3 minutes were over. To summarize what you said, where you started from, पहला काम होगा gaining confidence. So typically, rebuilding the trust in the parent that yes, you're ready to send your ward back to the school. The school will be taking care. Second, आपने जो एक बात कही कि बच्चों को खाने का क्रेज वापस से होगा, शायद वो सभी के लिए होगा, because our taste buds have been silent for quite a lot time. Now we need some different kind of articulation to them. And teachers से technology की तरफ जो transition है वो काफी ज़्यादा जल्दी हुआ. एंड बच्चों को वापस स्कूल में रीओरिएंट करना पड़ेगा. शायद सारे ही स्कूल्स को ओरिएंटेशन प्रोग्राम्स करने होंगे फॉर द एटलीस्ट ओपनिंग 2 to 3 months, बिकॉज नाउ स्टूडेंट्स हैव गॉट एब्सोल्यूट लिबर्टी फ्रॉम शेड्यूल एंड फैशन. ना यूनिफॉर्म पहननी है, ना कोई टाइम टेबल है, चीजें बदलती जा रही हैं और काफी कंट्रोल उनके पास है. सो नाउ व्हेन वी वांट टू रीओपन अ स्कूल, ये दोनों चीजें रीइंफोर्स करना काफी टिपिकल होगा. लेट मी इनवाइट द नेक्स्ट स्पीकर फॉर टुडे, मिसेस अर्चना नारायण, प्रिंसिपल द इंडियन हाइट स्कूल from Delhi. Archana ji, over to you for the next 3 minutes. Please unmute your audio in a very warm welcome.
Thank you so much, Mr. Daksh, and greetings to all my panelists. So I'll start, that to my mind, I feel that after the pandemic is over, so the look of the post-pandemic students is going to be too very difficult to imagine, and it is better if we start looking at very important aspects. So I've divided into 4 categories, and I feel that academics definitely and life skills would require our attention. Their physical, emotional, mental health, well-being also would be requiring a lot of attention. So now talking about the academics, the pandemic has already created huge learning divide. Students in the school are coming already from diverse backgrounds and from different strata, and therefore their needs are also diverse and different. And online education, no doubt, is doing a good job to a larger extent. But students coming from remote areas, economically weaker section, who cannot afford the device or maybe have no internet facility, are already lagging behind. Now, post-lockdown, learning divide would have increased tremendously, and to bring them to the mainstream is going to be a big challenge for the teachers. So they will have to come up with different teaching learning methodologies so that their system, their teaching techniques can fit into the then classrooms to bridge the learning gaps. So they'll have to be child-centric and will have to give one-on-one attention to fulfill their individual needs and requirements. Now coming to the emotional well-being, which is again a very important part because of the reasons of the grief, maybe the loss of their near and dear ones. And another reason is that the children are staying 24/7 at home, like what Savita ji was also saying, and then listening to the conversation. Now my viewpoint is a little different, that listening to the conversation of the parents, maybe which is not meant for them, which adds to a big dent to their emotional well-being. So they're also not talking to their friends, their peer groups. So that is also piling up to their emotional stress and anxiety. So teachers will have to do a lot of counseling and have to take care of the emotional aspect of the students, because that is going to be totally in a very different shape. Then coming to the physical well-being, like what she said, they're sitting and enjoying these days on the sofa. So no physical activity. So that is another major concern, and they're gaining weight. So post-lockdown, we'll have to come up with very robust solutions to attend to this very important issue. And last but not the least, the upgradation of the infrastructure, which would actually going to make a lot of difference, because we cannot ignore that. And parents will also not send the children till such time the children are not vaccinated. It will also, we'll not be able to call the complete strength to the school. So we'll have to have shift arrangements, and maybe horizontal or vertical, social distancing, so blended mode of teaching. So we need to update the teachers, the technology setup, the softwares, the tools, so many things have to be catered for to make sure that teachers are updated and they cater to the teaching, the learning requirement of the students, because it is going to be all technology based. So teacher role is going to be absolutely important post lockdown, to make sure that they feed, the kind of right thought which is required post lockdown for the post lockdown students. So they would be having a multifaceted role, which is, they will be a counselor, they will be friends, they will be mentors, they will be guide, shoulder to cry on, rocks to lean on, and sensitive caregivers. So to my mind, I feel that these are.
Thank you so much, ma'am. The first 3 minutes were over. To summarize what you said, लाइफ स्किल्स पे फोकस करना होगा, इमोशनल एंड मेंटल हेल्थ पे फोकस करना होगा. लर्निंग डिवाइड बहुत बड़ा हो गया है जिसको विल हैव टू पैच अप. अफोर्डेबिलिटी इज अ बिग चैलेंज जो कि अभी थोड़ी और ज्यादा उभर गई बिकॉज फाइनेंशियल स्ट्रेस हैज इंक्रीज्ड across the board, across families, across strata, and this is something that we're feeling everywhere. Anxiety has risen to completely new levels, and when we talk of students listening to their parents' interactions, this is where we have made the complete generation very risk averse. वो रिस्क लेना नहीं चाहते, वो सेफ्टी की तरफ जाना चाहते हैं. They're not very much interested in the freedom of it, because that's the biggest challenge. The complete generation that we are right now preparing has learned the vocabulary of elders very quickly, and this is where the new challenge is coming up, कि अब आप उन्हें वापस वो बचपने की freedom और उतनी सोचने की स्वतंत्रता कैसे देंगे. So thank you so much, Archana ji, for sharing your thoughts and adding this perspective to the complete discussion. Let me invite the next speaker for today, Mrs. Nutan Buddhiraja, Principal of Learning Path School from Mohali, Punjab. Nutan ma'am, over to you for the next 3 minutes. Please unmute your audio and a very warm welcome.
I'm so happy to be here today talking about something which is very close to my heart, which is the post-lockdown student. A lot of attention has been given to, things like post-lockdown school, infrastructural changes, hybrid teaching. We've been talking a lot about what the teachers need to equip themselves with, pedagogies, strategies. All of that is okay and required, no doubt about it. But I guess my focus has always been to focus on and try and understand this evolving student during the lockdown times. And what would we see when this child walks in through the gate of the school after the lockdown is over? I'm assuming that the child who walks in will definitely not be the same who walked out in the month of March 2020, for example. For all you know, I mean, he must be getting his temperature done outside, a mask on his face, and those kind of things. There would be some physical changes to the child. I am more interested in talking about trying to imagine and create a vision of the student for ourselves, and what therefore will we be ready with. We can't have the student sitting in our class and for us deciding now what do we do with him. We need to know exactly what are we dealing with over here. And at LPS, we've made very, very strong efforts to make sure that we are ready for the student, and that the student is ready with the kind of things we want him to be equipped with. The post-lockdown student is definitely going to have gone through major physical changes, and we are all going to be saying things like, oh, how tall you've grown, or how beautiful you're looking now, or things like, you are looking so grown up, and so on and so forth. There would be a major change in their personality. It wouldn't be the same child we saw in class 3 when we see him in class 5, 6, or whatever time that the school lockdown opens. These are all perceptible. These are all you can see them. But then what about emotional and psychological changes that the child would have gone through? Unbelievable it would be. We are not even prepared. We wouldn't know that these children have gone through major miseries in their life, maybe the death of a close one, or maybe the entire family having gone down through COVID. There's this anxiety, there's this fear, there is this mixed emotion of not knowing what's going to happen tomorrow. And so this child is going to be literally a kind of a bomb which is ready to explode if not handled very properly. We've started psychological and behavior therapy right now already with our student, in the hope that when he walks in, he's much more emotionally strong than it could be otherwise. We are also talking about students who are going to come in with huge learning gaps.
Thank you, Nutanji. The first 3 minutes were over. So to typically take the major points out of your complete address, that एक तो बहुत मेजर मिजरी एक्सपीरियंस सारे बच्चे लेकर के आ रहे होंगे, एग्जाइटी फियर काफी ऊपर होगा, साइको इमोशनल ट्रेनिंग चाहिएगी ही, एंड मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंटली फिजिकल के साथ में जो मेंटल चेंजेस हैं इन दोनों को हम साथ में टैकल कर पाएं, एंड द स्कूल एज एन इंस्टीट्यूशन हैज द कैपेबिलिटी टू हैंडल इट, that we are also prepared to handle them, because we need to, one of the school leaders on this very platform shared that हमें शायद schools को no negativity zone बनाना होगा, because even a small little sentence that's far away from a student's direct relation could affect him negatively, और शायद उस effect को हम contain ना कर पाएं. So that's something that we need to typically remember, because हमें नहीं पता बच्चा किस तरीके के atmosphere से आ रहा है. This complete platform of Love World Web Talks has always believed in one thing. On these platforms, we try to bring in schools from the metro towns across the globe, even from Singapore, even from Malaysia, even from the US. And we believe people coming in from the rural tier 2, tier 3 schools, because at the end of the day, learning and innovation is something जो सब जगह होनी चाहिए. An idea is nobody's property. There should be an absolute idea democracy. So let me invite the next speaker for today, Mr. Manjunath Nemagaud, school leader for SSVM Hippocampus School from Karnataka. Manjunath ji, over to you for the next 3 minutes. Please unmute your audio and a very warm welcome.
Good evening, everybody. And I am basically from rural background setup schools, as we are running our schools in the rural region only. As last year, we heard of this lockdown situation. That time we started with online platform from WhatsApp groups, as before only we were using this WhatsApp as the media to communicate with the parents. And one thing I got to know from this lockdown situation, in our region, about 40% of parents are of farmers background, and they are not able to afford even a smart device also. But in turn, it is a very difficult task for us to manage in the present scenario, because many parents who have lost their jobs, they are finding it very difficult to manage with the family also, and few of them, they have lost their families also. And in this situation, already around 60% of the total strength we have managed to accustom with the online classes, so that and even day-to-day basis, we have given some activity-based learning, so that to bring the hidden talents among them. As I can see, there will be so much drastic gaps in the learning as per the offline learning is concerned. So, and it is not an easy task for us to make the students to come up with the new way of learning, that is online learning. And as we are in the rural setup area, and in some of the interior places, there is a difficulty of internet connectivity also. So it is not an easy task for us to overcome all this scenario. And also, of course, there will be a lot of changes in the physical and emotional aspects of the kids, as they are seeing this even in daily news also, and in our neighbors also. And so I will feel will be very fortunate to introduce this new set of learning, so that it will help for the forthcoming days. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Manjunath ji. And yes, rural setup के अंदर challenges बहुत अलग तरीके के हुए हैं. Financial stress has affected them quite negatively. The infra has also not supported them. When we talk of internet, when we talk of devices, the digital divide has increased, and it has dramatically increased, which is, and even the government data shows that nearly 60% of the learner population of India could not access any form of learning for at least 1.5 years of the lockdown, which is very drastic and dramatic for anybody's life. Because if you imagine yourself that for 1.5 years, you're absolutely away from any form of learning, this is something that could be really a vacuum that gets created in your life and would have a negative impact on it. So thank you so much, Manjunath ji. Let me invite the next speaker for today, Mr. Debrata Vishwas, CEO for Soumyakashi Heritage Society for Cultivation and Preservation of the Himalayan Culture from Uttarakhand. Debrata ji, over to you for the next 3 minutes. Please unmute your audio in a very warm welcome.
The thing is that if I summarize, The main problems are that attitude and integrity, and the qualities, eligibility, knowledge, and skill. All these things have been greatly affected, especially the culture, health culture, energy culture, ethical, will, heart, psychic, spiritual culture. Everything has been affected devastating way. But the thing is that the bigger consequence will be at the degraded collective consciousness of the nation and the globe. An unexpected, non-harmonic, discordant mental state will be there. So this is a very, very typical situation. But as per Newton's third law, I will say every worst diversity will have equal and opposite amount of best opportunity. So it's a scary phase for the victims, but amazing time for leaders, the students or the teachers who are having leadership opportunity. So we have to work on our consciousness and conscience. So consequences automatically will change. The important thing is that all the technical points, technical definite difficulties we all know. On top of that, the most important thing is aptitude. We have to support the children. We have to tell that the moment you rest, the moment you will rust. As teachers, we have our own problems. Still, we are acharya. So I am acharati, tena shikshayati. We teach by our own behavior. So love, warmth, sympathy, empathy, these are very important. Listening their problems, understanding, tolerating them, filling the educational gaps, motivation, stories telling, giving them examples. And on top of that, definitely hybrid education, re-establish routines, behavior setting, goal setting, all these things are very important. Most important is engulfing the children with affection. And then their daily routine schedule, we have to motivate them. We have to tell them that don't wait for others, don't look at others. You will be awarded for your own deeds. As you sow, so shall you reap. Associate with yourself with positivity. Have a reading, have a meditation, have a diligence. Books are the most important thing. Books are our best friends. Read a lot, biographies, autobiographies, travelogues, general knowledge, ethics, integrity, spirituality. All these things will help us to overcome the problems, because we know leaders are the readers, language, new technical skills, performing arts, sports, self-defense, all these things.
Thank you so much, Devrati. आपने अपने पूरे इंटरेक्शन के अंदर मेजर पार्ट व्हिच वी कुड एक्चुअली टेक अवे फ्रॉम इट इज एप्टीट्यूड चेंज, या बच्चे के एप्टीट्यूड के ऊपर काफी सारा फोकस कर पाना, because this is something that's going to be more and more critical in the coming times, because what we can learn right now, that the content of education is not critical anymore. The learning is critical, the wisdom is critical, the decision making is critical. So I think aptitude gets very much important. And finally, एक point जहाँ पे आपने conclude किया, which I would like to rather stress on, is the affection for students. बच्चे इतने समय से घर पर हैं, अपने पेरेंट्स, अपने रिलेटिव्स के साथ में हैं, तो वहाँ पे उनका एटमॉस्फेयर बहुत अलग तरीके का है. एंड उस एटमॉस्फेयर से वापस एक स्कूल के एटमॉस्फेयर में ट्रांजिशन करना बहुत बड़ा चैलेंज होगा, which we need to understand, because children will be expecting very different atmosphere in a school now, because they also don't now remember the kind of interactions they had, the kind of setup they were in, and the kind of operations going on all around them. So thank you so much, Devratji. Let me invite the next speaker for today, Mr. Tripuresh Pandey, the former principal from Central Academy, Basti, Uttar Pradesh. Tripuresh ji, over to you for the next 3 minutes. Please unmute your audio, and a very warm welcome.
Thank you, sir. All educational leaders. Thank you, Daksh sir, to give me the chance on your Bloodworld platform. In this COVID era, education has to change its focus, as the students have been affected by the pandemic, and their mental and social health need supports and counseling, and need of our for teachers is to hone their skill as counselor. The school must have counseling professional by their side to guide and support one and all. Providing holistic education and balancing academic lessons with the experimental learning and activity-based model could be one approach in ensuring continuity of the learning while we support our student who will be going through an internal emotional and turmoil as they return to classroom. Assessment and expansion of social quotient among students will help us that endeavor. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Tripuresh. And yes, activity-driven, experiment-driven approach has to be taken in a school to now implement or typically continue the teaching learning process, because one thing that technology has now proved that we have continued teaching with the best of our capabilities, but learning is something that we cannot guarantee as of now because evaluation has become a big challenge. So involving them in project-based learning, outcome-based learning, or problem solving is the only option for education at the moment to continue the complete process. So let me invite the next speaker for today. Normally, it gets very difficult for any platform anywhere to reach out to every single depth of any country. We try our best so that we can typically get all parts of at least India onto this platform. We have had participants from 50 plus countries in the last 134 episodes. But today, again, on this episode, we're trying to know more about the tier 2, tier 3 sectors and what is happening in the smaller towns across India, because innovation changes its character with the economic strata. So you have to always remember that innovation also is stratified, and you have to find ways of intertwining that innovation to find a solution that's universally acceptable, scalable, and practical. So let me invite the next speaker for today, Mr. Mohammad Yusuf, Principal, Aryan International School from Hajo, Assam. Mohammad Yusuf ji, over to you for the next 3 minutes. A very warm welcome. Please unmute yourself.
Yes, good evening once again. Well, I'm basically from the rural schools, and I'm serving the school for the last almost a year. And I find here like there's a lot of problem with the parents and with the students as well, because they are like so confused with the entire thing that is happening in the country now. Now, it's basically because of the first is because most of the parents over here are illiterate. And at the same time, it's very, very difficult for them to make them understand how to bring about the quality education of the students through online mode. So what we have been trying to do always is that we try to conduct a workshop with the parents as well to make them learn about the Android phones, because we have to start from the scratch basically, because here the parents, they don't even know how to make use of the Android phone. So we have to conduct a workshop. So before the lockdown was imposed, we had to call the parents in different groups and conduct the workshop with this. And at the same time, a few parents, as one of our speaker has said, that in the rural areas, most of the parents, because of the financial status, it is difficult for them to get the Android phone, which is expensive for them. So, but these are the students, basically a group or a proportion of students are there who are really, really suffering because they don't have the phones, they don't have access to online classes. But we, as a leader, as teachers, we have decided that once the school will open, we have to think for these students. We'll have to conduct a kind of remedial classes, or maybe we'll have to balance the academic routine in such a way that those students basically who have not been getting the access to online education will have to take care of these students, and they should be at par with the students who have been having who have been getting a lot of quality online classes. So basically, we conduct the classes to Google Meet, and at the same time, we use the Google form, which I find which is very, very good enough for assignments and for tests and examinations to conduct. Then at the same time, we find here that we need to provide a kind of holistic education once the school will begin. Because this holistic education, it has to be in such a way which will be a little bit different in comparison to the schools, to the time when there was no pandemic. But now we have to incorporate so many things as much as we can, so that the children or students will feel that they are getting, in fact, whatever they are required to get, which they were not getting to online classes. And at the same time, we encourage students, because most of the students here, they are from environments where they hardly speak in English. But then at the same time, we are trying to motivate them, we are trying to encourage them that they must speak in English, even if they have siblings at home, and even with their parents, if they can.
Thank you so much, Yusufji. And yes, you brought a new perspective to the discussion, that where you typically had to teach the parents, because parents, when there's a lot of, when the parents are illiterate, उन्हें एक ऐसे स्टेटस तक या ऐसे स्तर तक लेके आ पाना जहां पे दे अंडरस्टैंड द यूज एंड द एप्लीकेशन ऑफ अ मोबाइल इन एजुकेशन is a big challenge, because a parent thinks that if a student is on an electronic device, he's simply wasting time. So trying to break that perception, train him to accept the new normal has been a big challenge. When we talk of even of bigger cities, the parent is concerned the other way around, that his screen time is too much. So the problem is same, but the both are placed far wide on the spectrum of the problem. So we need to always understand that as a school, now it's not enough to teach your students. As an institution, now you'll have to teach the community, whether it's the parent, whether it's the relative, whether it's the teacher. Everybody now needs guidance, now needs upgradation to again engage or re-engage, because education as a concept, which was right now mass delivery of content. When we talk of India as a nation, here we typically wanted to deliver literacy at a big scale. And at a big scale, when you want to deliver literacy, quality gets a hit. But now when the only option is quality education, when the control is with the student, we'll have to redefine or rethink the way we teach, because our B.Ed and M.Ed syllabuses did not cover this, and that's where the major gap has sprung up. And the second challenge, we as a sector, as an industry, do not get top of the pyramid talent. Now, while dealing with bottom of the pyramid talent and upgradation at the same time, the major challenge rises up. And that's where the system comes to a headlock or an absolute impasse. Now, we have typically listened to all the speakers for once. If you were muted, if you could not complete yourself, if there's anything that you want to add to the discussion, the next 5 to 7 minutes is an open floor. You just need to put your hand up and the next 60 seconds is yours. Archana ma'am, over to you for the next 60 seconds. Please unmute yourself.
Yeah, so you are absolutely right, Daksh, and the other panelists also, that the challenges are innumerable in our own areas, whether it is tier 1 or tier 2 or 3 cities, but the challenges are there. So however, we have to come what may bridge the learning gap and bring the children to the rhythm of learning. And for that, it is very important that we try and start working for it from now only, rather than sitting and procrastinating and waiting that, okay, let everything become all right, and then only we are going to start working. So our preparedness of today definitely is going to be a deciding factor in dealing and handling with the situation efficiently tomorrow. So we have to start working upon it from now only, rather than waiting and then taking the actions, because then it is going to be too late and it is going to end up into a lot of chaos. So this is my take on that, and I've already started working on it with my teachers.
Absolutely. So we cannot wait for things to get normalized. We'll have to start right now, because बहुत सारी ऐसी capabilities हैं जो कि school as an institution में नहीं होती हैं, और typically एक institute में हो भी नहीं सकती. There's a lot of external interference that will be needed, a lot of external expert help that will be needed. So I think as an institution now, the school has to open up. It cannot be a closed community anymore. It's now that same very concept coming again into existence, that it takes a village to raise a child. We now really need a complete village to raise a child. We need everybody to help and cooperate. So if anyone from you wants to contribute or say something, you can just put your hand and you can take the next 60 seconds so we can move on to the next section. I think most of the people have already contributed. So the major things that come out of these discussions, just to give you a kind of a reference that what have we done in the 134 episodes. Debraji wants to add something. So Debraji, over to you for the next 60 seconds.
The most important thing, the consequence of the lockdown is that it has given us a differentiation. It has made us understand that which institutions are really contributing towards the education, or some are doing showcasing more. So the most important thing is that unless and until we are giving the quality, we will not win the trust of the parents. I know few schools who are getting 10% fees, giving 10% salary to the staff, and they haven't terminated any single teacher. Teachers are well satisfied, parents are also very well satisfied. So all the institutions should try their best to come to that level where all the stakeholders are well satisfied. At the same time, the main purpose of education, that national education policy says, making the children eligible to serve the society, to serve the nation. That is the most important factor. Otherwise, this lockdown consequence will be very long. Corruption will increase because the parents most concerned that integrity is spoiled. Students are copying the answers, copying from some websites and this is the biggest problem. So this we have to do, and we have to win the trust of the parents, students, and everyone. So this is a very important thing. I think we all should work on that.
Absolutely. Integrity and typically, understanding the community once again, because even जैसा हमारी NEP कहती है that India, that we are finally trying to build their eligibility to serve the nation, we would rather want to take it to the next level. We have to now build capabilities to be a global citizen. अब आप केवल एक Indian citizen होके भी पूरा नहीं होगा. You'll have to build human values. You'll have to build integrity. You'll have to build basic decision-making skills. You'll have to inculcate wisdom. आपको पढ़ाई को content से, curriculum से उठा करके असल knowledge तक ले जाना होगा. And this transition is not very easy because as a nation or as a complete education system, we are pedagogically quite weak. For a very simple reason, we are teaching a big number of students. इतने बड़े number के साथ में quality of pedagogy maintain कर पाना challenge होता है. But I think right now that is the only way out that we have as a country to focus more on wisdom building, on folk knowledge, localized knowledge, trying to find more and more sources of learning which do not get hampered at any point of time, like UNESCO and the global organizations and in the SDG goals as well say, learning for life. Not just for an earning, not just for a living, but learning for life that keeps continued throughout your complete lifespan. So before this call comes to an end, let me talk about the purpose of Blub World, that what does Blub World actually do? What does it want to achieve? So Blub World works on a very simple concept of teens inspiring teens. Every month, we try to find a teenager who can inspire many other teenagers and share their story with many more teens. So one such story for you before this call comes to an end. I'm going to talk about a girl who started her painting career when she was just 9 months old. She was invited to one of the most respected galleries in Europe to do a painting exhibit at the age of 4. She again did an exhibit at one of the most respected galleries in New York at the age of 7. Right now, she's only 13 years old. She earns in millions. She has never went to a school. She's homeschooled and she lives in Melbourne, Australia. And right now, at this moment, she's known as the world's youngest professional painter, and that's Elita Andre, that was on the cover page of Blub World some months back. And that's what Blub World simply does. Find a teenager every single month and share their story with other teens. आज से करीबन साल भर पहले we started working on a concept that has finally become a reality, where we would like to extend an invite to all of you to support the Blub World and to build the world's first and the world's biggest teen parliament, Vishwa Kishore Sansad, जिसको हम बनाने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं, the World Teen Parliament. The idea got support from UNESCO. UNESCO became an official partner of the World Teen Parliament. And the idea is pretty simple. We are trying to search for 100 teenagers from across the world to become members of parliament. And most importantly, this is not a debating platform like a MUN or a youth parliament that you know. It's an idea to investment platform. So if your student or your teenager can give a solution to a local or a global problem, and he gets selected to the World Teen Parliament, the World Teen Parliament would fund his idea so that he can execute it. And the most important point in this whole process, it's absolutely free for every student, for every teacher, for every school. Nobody pays anything. The only thing that you devote to this process is your time and your attention. So thank you so much, everybody, for being a part of the Blub World Web Talks 135th episode. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, and if you want to attend the future sessions, open your audio, say a big yes, and thank you so much for taking out the time this evening. Namaste, people. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you so much. Yeah.
Thank you so much, sir.
For sure, definitely.